Hey friends, today I have compiled 4 ground beef recipes that you can make in the crock pot and slow cooker. They are the easiest recipes. Taco pasta, we have a hamburger potato soup, a creamy beef pasta, and hamburger potato casserole. These are very beginner friendly, very easy. They're full of flavor. Let's get into it. Two of the best comfort foods in one bowl. This easy crock pot recipe with ground beef takes everything you love about taco night and everything you love about a cheesy pasta dinner and let your slow cooker do all the work while you walk away and forget about it. Hey friends, you and I today are going to make a really cool slow cooker crock pot recipe. It is a slow cooker taco pasta. Now, if you're looking for a little bit of a change inside your crock pot, you're doing the same recipes over and over again, I invite you to make this taco pasta. It's going to come together very, very easy. You're going to be able to dump the ingredients in, walk away for 5 to 6 hours. It's going to have seasoned ground beef, a nice bell pepper, it's going to have cheese. It's going to have all kinds of ingredients, corn, that make this one a delicious dinner. I think everybody's going to think you're a queen or a king after you serve them this. Let's get into it. We begin by adding olive oil to a frying pan. We next are going to add in a diced up onion, and we're going to allow that to cook in the oil until it becomes soft and translucent. Then we are going to add our ground beef on top of that, and we're going to break up the ground beef, and we want to brown up the ground beef and mix that in with that nice seasoned soft onion. Just like that, we're going to break up that ground beef. Then you're going to use your taco packet seasoning, and you're going to cook that to the packet instructions in the meat. So you're going to add a little bit of water. You're going to put that on the ground beef, and you're going to let that simmer for a few minutes so that that beef becomes nice and seasoned, just like you see here. Next, after that, we are going to then take the whole meat mixture and put it in the bottom of our crock pot. And I have my crock pot set on low, and you can turn yours on at low at this point as well. So I'm going to put that meat there at the bottom of the crock pot, just like you see here in the video. Then I'm going to add up my chopped up bell pepper. I chose a red bell pepper, but you can choose a green or a yellow, whatever you prefer. Then I'm going to put in my can of corn. I drained it, and it's starting to look kind of pretty. Look at the colors. That red and that yellow are beautiful. Next up, we're going to add a little bit of salt and a little bit of pepper. And you also can do this while you're browning the meat. You can add your salt and pepper there as well. Then I'm going to add like a jar of salsa. Actually, it should be more like 1 cup, but you can add the whole jar. Then I'm going to stir this together. I want to mix all of these ingredients until it's very well combined. So I'm getting that meat stirred in with the corn, the salsa, the bell pepper. And then next we're going to come in with our crushed tomatoes, a can of crushed tomatoes. On the top, we're going to give that a nice stir. So pretty simple, easy process here. And let me tell you what, this is a delicious, delicious recipe. I'm going to come in with my chicken broth here. Now, if you don't have chicken broth in the house, you certainly can use water. Water works just as well. Now, this crock pot is going to look very, very liquidy. Like there's going to be a lot of liquid as we stir all of this in. But there is a method to that because we need all of that liquid later on to soften our pasta. That is one of the last steps down the road. So yes, it does look very liquidy. There isn't anything wrong with the way the crock pot looks. Lots of liquid there. So I'm going to stir all of that together until it's very, very well combined here. And then we are going to place the top on the crock pot, and I'm going to cook this for 5 hours on low. You also have another option to cook it for 3 hours on high. And then we're going to, about a half hour before your time limit is up, we're going to take the top off. And you can see that it's bubbling and boiling. We're going to add in our pasta. It says like 14 ounces. This is a 16-ounce box of pasta, and I use the whole box. So what you want to do here is you want to push your pasta kind of down into that hot mixture. So you don't want the pasta to be kind of resting on top. You want to sink them, and the way that you sink them is by doing what I'm doing here, just taking a spatula or a spoon and pushing them down into that liquid mixture. See how they're kind of covered up? That's just the corn peeking out there. And then we're going to place the top back on the crock pot, but the crock pot is going to be turned to high for 30 minutes. So there we go. The top's back on. We're going to pop that setting over to high on the crock pot, so you don't want to forget to do that. And then I'm going to give it another 30 minutes here on high. So next up, I have a recipe card for you, so you can snap a quick screenshot of this recipe card, and you can have the slow cooker taco pasta recipe for at your convenience on your mobile device or your iPad. And hey, listen, if you love cooking with me as much as I love cooking with you, hit that like and subscribe button so that I can see a little bit more of you. Now, I think our taco pasta slow cooker is completely finished here, so I'm going to move on over and we're going to take the top off. All right, friends, hey, we're going to unload this top on this crock pot. It has been a workhorse today, and we are going to now, looks like our noodles are all softened in there. Now we're going to, oh yeah, look at that. Woo, doggy. They be running for this one.
Delightful.
Those noodles just took about a half hour. Now I'm going to take some cheese for our taco bake here, a Crock-Pot taco bake. This is a great recipe to use when you've got ground beef and you want to do a crock-pot.
Fresh cheddar. Just need some black olives.
Yep. You can open up a can if you want.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to mix this cheese in and it's going to melt, and then we're going to serve it. So we like cheese. You know that already now about me. We like cheese where I come from.
I love it.
I didn't get this plus size figure by eating my vegetables all day. I got it by eating the cheese. Now, if you like more cheese, you can put more. You also can garnish that cheese on top along with some sour cream, some guacamole. You can serve this taco bake up however you see fit. All right, so let me get my cheese out of the way here. Oh, look at that ground beef in there, the corn, the red bell pepper. I mean, friends, this is so good. Look at that. We're gonna make a nice pretty dish here. There we go. Look at that. Kind of. It's gonna have a taco flavor to it.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so I'm gonna put a dollop of sour cream on top. Now I could put some fresh green onions, some black olives. Obviously that would have been a perfect for this video, right? But the black olives are over in my pantry right there. And the fresh green onions are at the market. I didn't pick any of those up, but let's take a bite of this together.
It's gonna be hot.
Hot, hot, hot. A little bit of that into the sour cream. Got to blow on this so it doesn't burn my lips right off. 10 out of 10, hands down. It's just got banger taco flavor. I mean, this is, I cannot wait to serve this to my family. They're gonna love it. Love that nice little crunch that I get with the corn. I mean, it is throwing the onions in there. That meat is seasoned perfectly. All right, let's head for the border. This is a 10 out of 10. I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Ground beef, hearty potatoes, and a creamy, cheesy broth. This easy crock-pot recipe with ground beef turns into the coziest soup that will feed your large family. Hey friends, today you and I are going to make a creamy potato hamburger soup. It's a great recipe, and when I say it's great, These are the reasons why. Number one, it's easy. Number two, it is not going to heat up the whole house. You're not going to heat up the oven and the stove. It's all going to come together in a slow cooker crock pot. And I have two secret ingredients that I use at the very end that makes this dish out of this world. So it's going to be hearty, savory, and delicious. So let's get into it. We begin by adding olive oil to a pan and a diced up onion. We're going to cook the onion until it becomes translucent and browns up a little bit. I'm moving it around the pan here in the olive oil. I'm going to add some pepper and some salt to the onion. And we're going to give it a few more minutes here to cook up before I add in the minced garlic. Now we want this to cook until it becomes fragrant. So we've got that on a medium to a high heat. Next, I'm going to add my ground beef, and I'm going to chop up the ground beef into chunks and make sure that it's all brown. Meanwhile, while the ground beef is browning, I'm going to grease my crock pot. And then as the ground beef is done, I'm going to add that into the bottom of the crock pot. So there is my browned ground beef and onion and seasoning all in the bottom of the crock pot. And then we are going to, right behind that, we are going to add in our potatoes, 4 to 6 cups of potatoes peeled and chunked up. Now, this is the part where you can add in a frozen vegetable. You do not have to, but you can. So I'm going to add in some frozen peas and some corn into my hamburger potato soup. And then we are going to add in our chicken broth. And this becomes the beginning of a nice creamy hamburger potato soup. So there is all of the chicken broth added in. Next, you're going to add in some more seasoning, your basil, and any other seasonings. There we go, the basil there, and any other seasonings that you may see fit. Now you're going to put the top on and you're going to cook it on low for 6 hours, 6 to 8 hours, or on high for 3 to 4 hours. Once the crock pot is within a half hour of your cooking time, you're going to mash up a few of the potatoes here with a masher. So with a creamy potato soup, you want chunks, but you also want of some of the potatoes to kind of be mashed and creamy, because that's going to be that nice creamy consistency that you're used to. So you can see that I'm mashing up some of the potatoes, but not all of them. And now I'm going to add in the secret ingredients to my hamburger potato cream soup, and that is sour cream. I'm going to add about a cup in for this size crock pot. You can add a little less or a little more. Just depends on how you would like to taste it. And then the second secret ingredient into thickening up my cream of potato hamburger soup is to add in, I'm going to stir the sour cream in here for a moment to make sure that that gets all added in before I add this next ingredient. The next ingredient is instant potatoes. And you can use instant potatoes to thicken up any soup, not just the potato soup. So if you were making a mushroom soup or a chicken noodle soup or a split pea soup and you wanted that broth to be thicker, just add a couple tablespoons in of the instant potatoes. And that's a nice secret from a chef that I learned years ago. So you can see it's already thickening up. And I'm going to give that a really good stir. And then we're going to add in our cheese, and it's really going to become nice and creamy and thick here. I am going to stir the cheese in, and then we're going to allow this to cook for another at least 20 minutes to a half hour. But we want to make sure that all of those ingredients are stirred and combined very, very well. So I am going to put that top back on here in a second and give it another half hour of cooking time so that that all thickens up real nice. Now, up on your screen is a recipe card. That is for you to take a quick screenshot of so that you have this recipe and good access to it. So go ahead and take that screenshot. And also, if you like cooking with me as much as I love cooking with you, hit that like and subscribe button so that I can see a little bit more of you. All right, friends, it's been 6 hours and we have a complete crock pot, a big crock pot here full of potato hamburger soup. The house smells good. It is so, so delicious. And we're going to jump into it here. So it's very, very creamy. We added that instant potatoes and some sour cream, which are the two secret ingredients to making your potato soup leveled up. So there we go. I just needed to stir that sour cream, it looks like, a little bit more. Yeah, so I've still got the nice chunky potatoes here, but then I've also got kind of a creamy base with that hamburger. And there are my peas and my corn there. All right, so I did find a little bread bowl, which is kind of clever, right here at my local fresh market. Shout out to Nino Savaggio's. And I'm going to just end up dumping in my soup into this great bread bowl here. And then, of course, with regular potato soup, I love to garnish the top with bacon, but we don't have regular potato soup. We have a hamburger potato. So I'm not going to use the bacon this time, but I am going to throw some cheese on top. I'm going to garnish the top with some nice cheddar cheese. And then I'm also going to garnish the top with some fresh green onions. So there we go. It's perfect. So you don't need the bread bowl. You don't have to be so clever or fancy like that. You can just eat this out of a regular bowl. It's delicious. Get some homemade bread or some nice buns on the side, and it will make a nice, delicious meal. Now, what I love about soups, and I love about this hearty soup recipe, is that ground beef makes it very, very hearty. And I love to make a big pot like this because I can freeze it. I mean, we eat this for a couple days, a couple nights, and then 2 or 3 weeks from now, I can pull out a really nice meal out of the freezer as well. So it freezes up nice is what I want to tell you. All right, so we're going to give this a nice taste here. It's blistering hot. I love the creamy texture of it, and that nice hearty ground beef hamburger in there, the spices, everything is just in concert together. This is a great recipe, super easy. I'm excited for you to try it. And guess what? I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Rich, creamy, and packed with Parmesan, this easy crockpot recipe with ground beef turns a handful of simple ingredients into the coziest pasta dinner your slow cooker has ever made. Hey friends, you and I today are going to make a creamy slow cooker beef pasta recipe and call it a casserole recipe dinner. Let's call it dinner. You're going to love this recipe because I guarantee 99% of you have all of the ingredients right there in your house, right in your pantry. So we're going to use ground beef. We're going to make a nice creamy mushroom sauce. We're going to also have some tender pasta in there. It's all going to come together. We're going to lay Parmesan cheese on top. It's delicious. You've got the ingredients. It's going to come together great in a slow cooker crock pot. So you're going to be able to kind of dump it and go. So let's get into it. We begin by adding olive oil to a pan and a diced onion. We're going to fry the onion until it becomes tender, and then we're going to add minced garlic in, and we're going to cook that until it becomes fragrant. Next, we're adding our ground beef, and we're going to brown the ground beef along with the onion and the garlic. Now I'm going to drain the grease from the ground beef and then put the ground beef in the bottom of a crock pot. And then I'm going to get a mixing bowl and add 1 can of mushroom soup to the mixing bowl. After the can of soup is added, we're going to add beef broth, about 1 cup. There we go. And then after that, we're going to add 1 cup of heavy whipping cream. And I think you could use milk here if you'd like to. And then after that, we're going to add in some salt. We're going to add in some pepper. And then we're going to add in some dried basil. And then right behind that, we're going to add in some dried oregano. Now we're going to whisk these ingredients until they're well combined. And this becomes the nice base of the sauce, that nice creamy slow cooker beef pasta sauce, because we're going to drape the whole ground beef mixture in the crock pot with this mixture that we have here that we're whisking up. So next, we're going to make sure our crock pot is on low, and we're going to take this whole mixture and we're going to pull that crock pot back over here under the camera. There we go. And now we're going to pour the mixture onto that ground beef inside the crock pot. We're going to make sure that all of it gets there in the crock pot. And then we're going to put the top on the crock pot, and it's going to cook on low for 5 hours. So I have it set on low for 5 hours. All right, folks, here's a recipe card for you to take a quick screenshot of on your mobile device or your iPad. That way you've got the creamy, slow cooker ground beef pasta right on your device for your convenience. And hey, listen, if you love cooking with me as much as I love cooking with you, hit that like and subscribe button and hit the bell so that I can see a little bit more of you. Now, we have placed the recipe card inside the video here. In your video description, you also have an opportunity to join a membership on my channel where you get early access to my videos, you get cool emojis to use, and a personalized badge. Supporting my channel allows me to bring you more cool videos each and every day. The join button is on the main channel dashboard and it says join. You'll follow the prompts and join the channel. So welcome aboard and thank you very much for supporting my channel. All right, friends, here is the last step for our creamy ground beef pasta, crockpot pasta. So this has been on low for 5 hours. So the next step is I have cooked noodles. So I've cooked my noodles, unlike the video we did yesterday or a couple days ago, put the cooked noodles in and they cooked here in the, but this recipe, you cook the noodles and then add it in here at the end is what I'm trying to say. So we're going to add this in, we're going to stir it. And then I'm also going to add in my full cup of Parmesan cheese. We're just going to mix this in. Boy, it smells really good.
It sure does.
That's my camera guy. I gotta love him. He's so funny. Oh yeah, look at that. It's all coming together now with that hamburger. I had to get the hamburger up from the bottom there. Yeah. So if you're catching me in this video, I want to know where you're watching from. Maybe it's Australia, maybe it's Pennsylvania, maybe it's Kim watching from Cleveland. All right, so I'm going to mix that all in. You can kind of see that cheese just started to melt. You can see it on the paddle here on my, it's all kind of melting and coming together. And then she's ready. So you could let this sit all together for a few minutes because it's piping hot to let the seasons kind of, or the seasoning marinate a little bit, but you wouldn't have to. What you can do is just take this right out of the crock pot and serve it up, which I'm going to do right now. So all right, friends, so now we're going to scoop this up. Look how delicious that looks. And we're going to taste it together. So this one's easy. I would say like 99% of you would probably have the ingredients right there in your pantry. I mean, it's just a handful of ingredients and a couple pinches of seasoning, right? Some salt and pepper. So this is a super easy one to throw in the morning or by noon, and then you've got a hot dinner, right? Nice ground beef hot dinner, easy dinner.
Some bread and butter, you're all set.
Right. Let's taste this. A lot of times I see that people are asking or requesting or searching for easy recipes. So this one's easy. I say everything that I pretty much film is easy, but some get a little bit more deeper, more ingredients, you know. But this is like beginner friendly. I feel like I'm going to burn my lips because I can see the steam coming off of here, but it smells good. Oh yeah, sweet. It's almost very nice to have a slow cooker crock pot recipe that has minimal ingredients because you can really just taste the flavor of everything that's in there. So you don't have a whole lot of things competing, right? Like some of our taco recipes, I mean, that's like a whole party in that crock pot. This is very, very nice and simple. Very, very nice, pleasing taste. That ground beef is seasoned just perfectly. The noodles are great. That cheese, the creamy mushroom soup, and the heavy whipping cream. I mean, it's delightful. It's a nice, nice dish. All right, friends, I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Ground beef, sliced potatoes, and melted cheddar. This ground beef dinner recipe layers together in minutes and let your slow cooker do the rest. Hey friends, today I'm super excited to make with you a hamburger and potato casserole. It's super easy. It happens in the crock pot and it's going to feed the whole family. We're going to stack the layers so it's going to have some nice flavor, hearty, amazing. Let's get into it. We begin by heating a skillet and adding a diced onion. We're going to allow the onion to cook until it becomes translucent. And then we're going to add our minced garlic into the center of that skillet. And we're going to allow that to heat up until it becomes fragrant. Now we're going to add our ground beef into the mixture. And we're going to separate the ground beef and brown that up. Going to also add some salt and pepper here to season the ground beef. And then I'm going to prep our crock pot. In the crock pot, I'm going to place the first layer of potatoes. I have peeled and sliced the potatoes into thin slices. It allows for a little bit better of a texture in this dish if you slice your potatoes thin. So here comes the very first layer. I'm going to cover the very bottom of the crock pot. The next layer is going to be the ground beef mixture. I'm going to add in just a portion of that mixture on top of that first layer of potatoes. I'm going to kind of spread out that beef a little bit. There we go. I'm getting it kind of evened. There we are. Next, I'm going to come in with a layer of cheese. And after the cheese, I'm going to repeat the potato layer. So as you can see, we're stacking the flavor here in this crock pot. It's going to be absolutely delicious. So there's our next layer of the potatoes. And then we are going to grab our meat mixture next. As soon as I finish this layer up here, and we're going to add another layer of the meat mixture. There we go. We're almost finished. And I'm going to use all of the remaining of the meat mixture here. So I basically just cut the meat mixture in half with the layers. I'm going to add another layer of cheese. So you're just repeating these layers. And this just adds, like I said before, so much flavor to this dish. Super, super easy. So there is some cheddar cheese. Now I'm coming back in with another layer of potatoes. And this should be my final layer here. Meanwhile, I'm going to get a mixing bowl out and I am going to add a can of cream of mushroom soup to the mixing bowl. You can substitute for a cream of chicken soup, a can of cream of chicken if you don't have the cream of mushroom. And then I'm going to add milk, and I'm adding heavy whipping cream. So you can substitute heavy whipping cream for milk, or you can use any type of milk that you have in the house. I'm going to whisk this together until it's completely combined. And then I'm going to use this as my sauce for the crockpot recipe here. So I'm going to just layer that all over the top of the crockpot mixture layers, that creamy soup with the milk or the heavy whipping cream, whatever you use. Now I'm just going to kind of poke a couple holes into the casserole with my tool here, just to allow some of that liquid mixture just to kind of head down into some of those layers. So it's just not all laying on top there. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put the lid on my crock pot and I am going to let this cook for 5 to 6 hours on low, and I would cook it for 3 to 4 hours on high. Now I'm going to take the lid off my crock pot and I'm going to give it one more dressing of cheese. So I'm going to layer a little bit more cheese on top, and I'm going to add just a tad bit there. And then I'm going to give it a nice stir. So I want this cheese to melt into the Crockpot. And doesn't this look great? Hamburger potato Crockpot. This is the easiest dinner that you will ever make, hands down. So I am going to move that cheese in. You can see how delicious that meat and the potatoes. They've been cooking here now for about 5 hours. Looks so, so delicious. So you're going to work that cheese down in there, and then we are going to put, a little bit more on here. I'm going to dress the top on with a little bit more cheese, and then we're going to put the top back on the crock pot until that cheese on the top melts. That could be a half hour, that could be 15 minutes. Next up, I've got a recipe card for you. I've tossed this up here on the screen so that you can do a quick screenshot of this recipe and have the recipe at a convenient location, whether it's on one of your devices, your iPad, your iPhone. It's just very helpful. So listen, if you love cooking with me as much as I love cooking with you, hit that like and subscribe button so that I can see a little bit more of you. Now let's taste this awesome hamburger potato crockpot casserole. All right, friends, here is our crockpot hamburger potato casserole. It looks so cheesy and creamy. It looks like I've got nice, beautiful, tender potatoes there, the nice creamy sauce, all layered in there with that seasoned ground beef. I mean, look at that. I mean, it's going to be delicious. I can tell you the house, my kitchen, the house smells delicious. All right, so I'm going to spoon some of this up. We're going to take a nice bite of this together. So again, this is going to feed a large family. So it's a nice ground beef crock-pot recipe to feed a large family, and or you can cut this in half if you're cooking for two, and or make the whole thing and eat it and then put some of it in the freezer. Always good the next day, but you can always freeze this too for future meals. Look at that. Ooh, yes. So creamy and cheesy. So delicious. So let me give you a good picture of that. So you've got that beautiful seasoned ground beef, beautiful, nice, tender potatoes, the cheese, cheddar cheese. So delicious. Right, so let me dress it up a little bit here. Just add some green to it. You can add it into the crock pot on the top of it. Depends on who's coming over for dinner, right? But they're going to be running to the table. This is definitely one where they're going to come running. Nice flavor. Delicious. That wasn't the greatest bite that I took. It was all potato. I've got some ground beef here on this next bite. Yeah. It's hot. That cheese pulls it all together. So the seasoned ground beef, the tender potatoes, I keep saying the tender potatoes because they're just so perfectly soft, but it's that cheese that brings both of those items together. So it is so good. All right, friends, listen, I hope you try this one. I'm excited for you. Super easy. We do have a recipe card if you missed it in the video. Instead of the recipes being in the video description, I've tossed this one inside the video. So if you need to kind of scramble back through that video to screenshot the recipe card, this one's going to be great. Your family's going to love it. And when I say they'll be running to the table, they'll be hauling it to the table. All right, I'll see you in the next one. Take care. And that's a wrap. There are the 4 easiest ground beef crock pot slow cooker recipes ever. Listen, if you want individual video links, look at the video description for this video and you'll be able to get each individual video link. And hey, listen, if you love cooking with me as much as I love cooking with you, hit that like, subscribe button, hit the bell while you're at it. And if you would like to join in on a membership, you can support my channel by hitting the join button as well. You'll get early releases on videos, you'll get extra emojis, and a nice customized badge for being on my channel. Take care, and I'll see you in the next one.